Michio Kaku, contact with aliens is a dangerous idea. Shortly before the launch of the Webb telescope into orbit, Michio Kaku, a well-known science popularizer and theoretical physics professor at City College of New York, urged not to make contact with extraterrestrial life forms if they're discovered. We all know what happened to Montezuma when he met Cortez in Mexico many hundreds of years ago, the scientist tells The Guardian journalists, while his colleagues are full of expectations of discoveries that will change our world. Throughout the history of space exploration, humans have been sending signals in the hope that one of them will be received by an extraterrestrial civilization and are searching for similar messages from other planets. So why is Professor Kaku talking about the danger of searching just before the launch of the Webb telescope? Who is Dr. Michio Kaku? Dr. Michio Kaku is one of the most well-known scientists in the world. He's an authoritative figure in two areas at the international level: Einstein's unified field theory and predicting trends that affect business, medicine, finance, and other areas based on scientific data. He's the author of 3 New York Times bestsellers: The Future of the Mind, Physics of the Future, and Physics of the Impossible. Dr. Kaku is a practicing educator and oversees the Henry Semmett Chair and Professorship in Theoretical Physics at the City College of New York. His goal is to fulfill Einstein's dream of a theory of everything by deriving an equation that unites all physical laws of the universe. He is a co-founder of string theory, and his textbooks are used in leading physics laboratories. At the 2018 International Economic Forum, Dr. Kaku participated in a panel discussion about technologies that will be in demand over the next 100 years. He expressed several theses on the complexity of controlling obtained possibilities and knowledge. Any technology is a double-edged sword. It can be used against diseases, illiteracy, poverty, and against people. Therefore, we must be confident that we are in control of these powerful resources. This opinion explains why the Webb telescope is causing concern for the famous scientist. The launch of JWST into orbit has truly changed space exploration. The James Webb Space Telescope is an orbital infrared observatory that will complement and expand upon the discoveries of the Hubble Space Telescope, with longer wavelength coverage and improved instrument sensitivity. Webb is capable of studying the unseen formations of the first galaxies, thus going back to the beginning of time. It can peer into dusty clouds where stars and planetary systems are forming today. The mission's goals include the following: searching for the first galaxies, or those formed after the Big Bang, studying the development of galaxies from their formation until the present day, observing the formation of stars from their earliest stages to the creation of planetary systems, studying the chemical and physical properties of the solar system and other regions of the galaxy, and determining the potential for life in other planetary systems. Like any popularizer of science, Professor Kaku relies on the most common expectations of the general public. For many years, mass culture has created an image of humanoid beings and their spacecraft in the form of a paired saucer. This is the kind of alien that the average resident of American provinces expects to encounter. They may not be impressed by NASA scientists' discovery of Earth-like planets. Instead, they believe in the existence of a copy of our world. When journalists and scientists talk about the possibility of life in the universe, the average TV viewer remembers all the familiar science fiction and mysticism from the tabloids. Why do we need this liquid water, they think? Let's find aliens and get the technologies of the future. Dr. Kaku, citing the meeting of Montezuma and Cortez in Mexico, relies on anthropological foundations for possible contact. For many years, he has stated that we have every chance of finding extraterrestrial life, including intelligent, civilized life that surpasses us in development, especially now that NASA is using the Webb telescope and making amazing discoveries weekly. And just as long, the professor has called for not making contact if the discovered society does not make the first move. We cannot risk it, Dr. Kaku explained in an interview with the Big Think Project. We should not try to advertise our existence to extraterrestrial life in open space, because we do not know their intentions. He believes that the danger is not that aliens will be quote-unquote evil in themselves, but that they may not care about us at all. The professor compares our position in the universe to that of a deer in the forest, threatened by hunters, road builders, industry, and other factors that make its life difficult and even impossible. Meanwhile, the Webb telescope will continue its work, and in late April 2023, Michio Kaku commented for the first time on the results of the research. Observing 6 galaxies, scientists were able to obtain a model of the events that occurred after the Big Bang, more than 650 million years ago. Light takes time to travel through space. It takes 1.3 seconds for moonlight to reach Earth. The most distant galaxies ever observed are located more than 13 billion light-years away. This means that the light detected by the Hubble telescope left these galaxies more than 13 billion years ago. It also means that with powerful telescopes like JWST, we can look back in time and observe the unfolding history of the universe. The earliest epochs of the universe after the Big Bang remained visible and unknown because galaxies are so far away that their light scatters into long waves, called infrared. Today, we can see these traces of the universe's past. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope was designed to detect the infrared spectrum with a resolution comparable to Hubble. Its task is to reveal the history of how early stars, gas, and dust first came together to form galaxies. In April of this year, the mentioned 6 galaxies were confirmed to be a protocluster, a group of celestial bodies moving along an organized trajectory, aiming to transform into a large collection of stars. This provides an opportunity to see the formation and development of space after the Big Bang. Spectral data allowed astronomers to model and map the future development of the gathering group up to our time in the modern universe. Predictions that the protocluster will eventually resemble the Coma cluster mean that it could ultimately become one of the densest known clusters of galaxies with thousands of members. Dr. Kaku was featured in an NBC News segment commenting on the discovery of the protocluster as an amazing opportunity to learn about the birth of our own galaxy, the Milky Way. He is not intimidated by the prospects of the Webb telescope's work. On the contrary, the professor looks optimistically at plans to explore the solar system. "I would like there to be life on Mars, even microbial, but it's best to bet on Jupiter and Saturn's moons. For example, Europa and Enceladus have liquid oceans, billions of miles from the Sun. Who would have thought? The volume of these oceans is much larger than all the water reserves on Earth." So why did Dr. Kaku make such a bold suggestion about the inevitable discovery of a dangerous extraterrestrial civilization capable of wiping out humanity, like conquistadors did with the Aztecs? At the very least, to draw attention to himself and his new book in the light of the new era of space exploration, in which he wants to be involved not only as a scientist. Michio Kaku increased his media weight and received requests from the media for comments on Webb's research related to the theory of everything, and of course, the possible existence of life beyond our planet.